Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be a past, present, future outcome reading, and we are going to base it off of this theme card right here. So this says New Beginnings, and that will be the theme of the reading, past, present, future. In your past position, you have this Libra card. It says a new romantic relationship is unfolding that will be deeply meaningful for you. You have this Phoenix rising. It says you've been through the fire and rising up anew and embracing life in a deeper way. So that makes sense because the Phoenix rising would be a new beginning. And the theme of your reading is some sort of new beginning coming in for you. Even though this is your past position, this definitely could be new love coming in for you here, Aquarius. You have the Page of Cups, the Four of Wands, and the Moon. And the Page of Cups can be like an admirer or just a person that you're interested in. So if you are looking for love, this could absolutely be like a connection. Now, the reason it's coming up in the past is because maybe you have, met this person recently in the past, or maybe you have become aware of this person, or vice versa, right? It's like this could be a person who has become aware of you, Aquarius. And so it's like coming from the past, but it's not a past person, it's a new person, but maybe they became aware in the past. And so I definitely kind of get that feeling off of that Page of Cups energy. The other thing about the Page of Cups is that the Page of Cups is an amazing card for your dreams. He has this fish in the cup there, and I always say that fish might not exist. We don't really know. But all we do know is that that fish has to come down to earth, and he needs to prevent that fish from jumping into the water behind him and escaping. So I feel for a lot of you that this could say that you need to prevent that fish from escaping from that cup. And that's what I would be doing with the Page of Cups energy, is bringing your dream down to earth. Even your next card is the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a card of commitment. It can represent marriage. So if you're looking for love, this is a very good reading. But, this could also just be you committing to a dream. Now, there are two sides, believe it or not, to the Four of Wands. There's this side, and then there's this side over here, where you cross through this portal on the card. Sometimes I think we kind of, there are things from our old life that we have to release to be able to commit to something new and to cross through this threshold that's in the middle of the card. And that's kind of the feeling I get for you here, Aquarius, is that there could be like some old habits, some old behavior, some old people, some, old connections, or whatever you want to call it, that you have to release to be able to go celebrate with these people on the other side. So especially if you're like trying to work on a project or an idea or a goal or a dream, there might be some connections to the past that have to be released. And you even have the Nine of Swords in the next row. The Nine of Swords is about being in pain, but not being in enough pain to make a change. And so, I always say that the Nine of Swords really says that there are things that you're holding on to that probably no longer serve you, that you have to let go of. And I definitely get that feeling on this card. Now, the thing is that you have the Moon. And so the Moon is part of the Fool's journey. And on the Moon, the Fool has to go from here all the way to these mountains to have his accomplishment. But the Moon can represent a period of fears, fantasies, illusions, a lack of clarity. The good news is this is coming up in the past. So maybe things have not been very clear, or maybe things have not been, immediately obvious on like the steps you need to take to accomplish a dream. But I do feel that the good news is it's coming up in the past. So you are probably taking control now, and you are probably much more clear on the steps that you have to take to make something happen with that Moon card. So I do like that the Moon is coming up in the past. So that is definitely the right position we want it to show up in. With the Page of Cups, you have the Chariot. The Chariot can represent some sort of victory or success coming in for you. The Chariot can also represent moving away from what you have always known. He is leaving this city behind him behind. Definitely a time of innovation for you here, Aquarius. So anything you can do to innovate or expand will lead to a lot more success. So, moving away from the familiar is probably what you have to do. And literally, we go Nine of Swords to the Judgment card. And the Judgment card is good after the Nine of Swords, for sure. But the Nine of Swords is the familiar. He's just doing the same thing over and over and over again. So doing something new will probably be very beneficial. With the Four Wands, you have the Four Cups. I think a lot of people have the fear of disappointment right now, and that's kind of what I'm getting off of this card, is that some of you could be fearing that if you do something or take action on something, that it's just going to be a disappointment like everything else has been for a long time. And so the trick with the Four Cups is we have to apply the lessons, the information, and everything we learned from these 3 cups. And if we apply what we learned here, we will, to this new opportunity, we will be much more successful. And so that Page of Cups, it has that cup, right? Reaching out to you, or reaching out. And I feel that, this could be kind of like an opportunity or something that you're committing to, that if you apply what you learned, you'll be successful. Yes, with the Moon, we have the Nine of Swords. This is actually a good thing because whenever I have a card like in one row, and when the next row starts with that card, I kind of look at it as like the universe is zooming in on this card. It is providing us with more detail of what's going on in a situation. So not knowing is probably the problem here with the Moon, and we're going to zoom in on that right now. In your present position, you have this Raven. It says darkness looms on the horizon. You have this Griffin. It says honor and good luck. So again, the darkness thing could say that you're just not sure what steps to take, or you're not sure what direction to move in at this time, and I feel like that is fine. You're not meant to know all the answers, and that's the whole thing. The honor and good luck could be, it's time for you to shine, Aquarius. Definitely with Pluto in your sign, anything you can do to stand out will be very beneficial. You have the Nine of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Two of Swords. Again, this is your present position. He is sitting in this bed, and he's had a nightmare, and he's woken up, and he's stuck in a nightmare. The whole point of this card is that he could easily get out of that bed, and he could leave the nightmare behind. And so he has to make a choice. The Nine of Swords is usually a situation in our life where we are in pain, but we're not in enough pain to make a change. And so the Nine of Swords says, don't wait, basically. If something in your life isn't working, the Nine of Swords wants you to get out of that situation immediately so that you don't wait, and so that you don't stay in something that isn't going to be good for you, or you don't stay in something that is going to be bad for you, right? And so we have to leave these situations that are just going round and round and round. And, that's kind of what I feel like this is saying. I mean, same thing with the Wheel of Fortune as well. The Wheel of Fortune can be a repeat cycle. And now the Wheel of Fortune is a great card of luck. You have that card that says honor, good luck. But maybe what that card should say is that you could change your luck right now if you wanted to. The Wheel of Fortune is about paying attention to cycles. To take control of our destiny and to take control of the wheel, we have to, focus more in the positive direction, going this way, not backwards this way. And we have to kind of make sure our life is moving forward. So if they're, really, I think your present position is saying, any repeat cycles, they're just going to keep repeating. You need to end them right now. The thing about the Wheel of Fortune is we have this snake right here. And these circle cards are portal cards, and snakes are guardians of the portals. So usually snakes represent fears, and the Wheel of Fortune, I think, sometimes says that there might be some fears that we have to face to end a cycle, right? And these aren't like real fears. These are like, thinking that you're not good enough to do something. This could be, pretty much everything we want that we don't have. Usually there's like some sort of fear, like it's not going to work, or we're not going to be strong enough, or we're not smart enough, or whatever it is. So those are the types of fears that you are being called to face. I mean, we go up to the Judgment card, and it's like the Judgment card is your higher self calling you up into a new life. And the whole reading, the theme of the reading is new beginnings. These people are standing in their coffins, which is their old life, and outside the coffin is their new life. So they are being called into a new life. You have the Two of Swords. Yeah, like a little bit of a stalemate going on for you right now, Aquarius. I feel like a little bit of a... I don't know that this is really stuck energy. I just think that you're going back and forth on something. And the Two of Swords is thinking that you only have this option or this option, but really you have this third place over here. And I would encourage you to move towards those like third place solutions. I would also say that some of you, if you're feeling stuck in something, I feel like that is your answer. I always say, like with this card, that when I remember when I was a kid, my parents used to say to me, like, if I can't make a decision, the answer is no, right? Like if I wanted something, they would say, if you can't make up your mind, the answer is no. And so I kind of get that feeling on the Two of Swords, where if you're like stuck in between between things. Right now we're stuck with the decision. Maybe the answer is no decision. Maybe the answer is just no. Plain and simple. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Four Wands again, which is pretty funny. We have the Four Wands twice here. So the Four Wands really says you have to set yourself free. I really get this feeling that the Four Wands is saying that there is like a celebration coming in for you in your future. There's something that you will be celebrating. But it's like I think what you have to focus on, well, I wouldn't focus on it, but the thing that I would be working on maybe is like past attachments. There could be some little pieces of the past, things that happened in the past, lessons you learned, habits, all sorts of things that once you cut those things out, I think that's where you will cross through this portal on the Four Wands. The Four Wands is also a portal card. The Four Wands is also about committing to like the person that you want to be in the future. So we really have to commit to being the thing we want to be before we can have it with that Four Wands energy. With the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is like juggling, spinning plates, being very busy, having too much going on. And so he is kind of doing too much, and maybe he needs to focus. Definitely with the Judgment card, the universe could be calling you to focus on like one thing in your life, or it could be calling you to have some sort of focus as well. If you're feeling scattered or all over the place, that could be what's going on here. Now, I don't really feel too bad about this card though, I will say. So, it could just be a very busy time. I think that once we get past the end of May in 2025, that things are definitely going to be speeding up. I think everybody will be kind of like busy doing a lot. And the Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. So the Two of Pentacles reminds us to make sure that we are kind of doing both, that we're playing and we're also working, and that we are balancing that energy out inside of us. And that's what I would do here. With the Two of Swords, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like definitely time for something new. The whole reading again is meant to, the theme is new beginnings. He has a new beginning right here. He's the only knight in the tarot that isn't making a move. The point of this card is that he could easily plant seeds in this field behind him and they would grow. So I think that it's time for you to start like planting seeds in this field behind you, because if you plant seeds in those fields, they will grow. And that's what I would be doing with this Knight of Pentacles energy, is kind of like planting seeds, getting started on new ideas. The Knight of Pentacles also says you know more than enough. He has these oak leaves on his helmet, which represent knowledge and wisdom. The moon can say that you feel like you're missing information, but really you're not. I see this a lot. I've worked with a lot of people over the years, in business and work and all sorts of things, and I see this a lot where some people, they kind of discount their knowledge, or they think that they have to be up here, but really they have to be down here to be successful at whatever it is they want to do. And that's kind of the feeling I get for you. It's almost like you are putting too many requirements on what success is, and I think the bar is much lower than you think. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy. You're going to have to put the work in, but I think what you will realize is that things. I'm not saying they're going to be easier. I just think they're going to be easier than you think, just in general. Next, in the area of your future position, you have this Badger Spirit. It says, be fearless, be bold. Yes, definitely. And you have this Vulture. It says, nothing is wasted. Vultures are masters of conservation of energy. Vultures soar around in the sky, and they don't flap their wings until they see food. And so they kind of save their energy for an opportunity that's worth, expending energy on. And so kind of like conservation of your own energy could be important here, Aquarius. I would also say with the Judgment card that, kind of being fearless and being bold and charging towards an opportunity could be the thing that you need to do right now. You have the Judgment card, the Five of Cups, and the Four of Swords. The Judgment card is like a call. This is your higher self angel. And these people, again, are standing in these coffins, which is their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life, and they are being called to step into their new life. So I definitely feel it is time for you to step into your new life. I feel it is time for you to, step into new energy, new ideas, new things, and answer the call. It's like the universe is calling you towards something. Now, this can be confusing because it's like sometimes with the Judgment card, I feel it's just like a gentle pull that we are experiencing in life. But I do feel that you are clearly being pulled towards something greater. You have the Five of Cups. Like I said on the Four of Cups, the Five of Cups can be regrets and sadness, but it can be disappointments. He is disappointed that he no longer enjoys his taste for wine. The story of the card is that he lost his taste for wine. He no longer enjoys it. And so he's sad because something that once brought him pleasure no longer brings him pleasure. But the trick with the card is he has to be grateful for what he has, and then he gets this bridge in the castle as well. And so this is about releasing those Nine of Swords cycles that really are no longer working. It's like, I kind of do feel that energy from the reading. Where it's saying, like, how much more proof do you need that something isn't going to work? This could be like a project you're working on, a business, an idea. It could be a group you're working with, whatever it is. I feel like the writing is on the wall in some area of your life, and you just have to, like, listen to it, right? You have the Four of Swords. I do feel good about this. Like, I feel like you're healing. And, this could also say that you are finally ending a cycle in the near future, which is great. He is hoping and praying for blessings. There's a person right here blessing another person in this stained glass window. So there could be kind of like something that you've been hoping and praying for that's going to be entering into your life soon, and it could help you end these cycles. Although I kind of feel like you're ending the cycle of the Nine of Swords on your own. I feel like you are doing things to, bring something to its logical conclusion. And of course, that will be a good thing. With the Judgment card, you have the Six of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about this. Six of Pentacles is planting seeds in a direction. He is kind of giving to this person, not this person. So he gives to what works. He doesn't give to something that isn't working. And, that could be a simple solution for you. If something is working, keep investing in it. Keep giving it energy. If something isn't working, stop. Do something else. And that's kind of just the message that I'm getting off of this card. I do feel something good in money coming in for you. Sometimes the Six of Pentacles can be a raise or a promotion. And so if you're hoping for a raise or promotion, there could be more money coming in like over the summer, like I said. So it might not be like the month of May, but it could be coming in over the summer. With the Five of Cups, you have the Five of Swords. Yeah, definitely something you need to separate away from here. I think this has come up for you for the past couple weeks, that there's like, basically the same thing, that there's something that clearly isn't working for you, or it just isn't working in general. I would like really look at the results. Six of Pentacles is results. It's like if you're giving your energy to a person, a place, a thing, a project, you should see results, that it's working. But if the results are going down, then I kind of feel like that is your answer here for you, Aquarius. And it's definitely something I would definitely pay attention to. Like if it's not working, I would cut it out, plain and simple. With the Four of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. It's it's time to put yourself first, for sure. I mean, Pluto in your sign is all about, it's going to be saying that it's your time to shine, like I said earlier. So I think that investing in your own self is what needs to happen with the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of gratitude and luxuries as well. It's about having the nicer things in life. Like I said, I do feel good about money in this reading. So if you're doing anything new, because we have that new beginnings card, as far as finances are concerned, or even if you're like looking for a new job, I think this summer could be very good for you, and you could be finding something much better. She also has this Falcon right here, and I feel like that you need to be very careful of things that are draining your energy. Clearly, Nine of Swords, right? So she's very focused. She has a goal that she's setting out to accomplish. If people are wanting to work with her or do things with her, if it doesn't align with the goal, she says no, because she is very focused. And I feel like that would be a very good practice for you, Aquarius, to like say no to things that aren't going in the right direction. Next, in the outcome, can't make this up, you have this releasing card. I mean, obviously, the whole entire reading is saying you are releasing something. You have this take a breath card. Yes, you probably do need to take a breath, breathe in, breathe out, and, kind of take a breath at this time. And that's what I would do here. You have the Seven of Swords, the Seven of Wands, and the High Priestess. Seven of Swords is about doing things in a different way. It's a card of tactics. It's also, he has these polka dots on his cloak. And polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously and needing to be more playful. So I feel for a lot of you that it would be a great time for you to be more playful and for you to like enjoy yourself more and to, kind of put yourself out there more and not take things too seriously. The Seven of Swords, like the polka dots in the tarot, can be the type of energy where you're saying to yourself, like if you're starting something, that you say to yourself, I need this to go this way. The Seven of Swords wants us to be more flexible, right? He's going to war, but in a different way. So anything that you're trying to accomplish, I would just be open to all ways of doing it. And I think if you stay open, then things will go well. You have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands sometimes I feel is my card of like being pissed off for greatness, right? Sometimes we have a situation in our life where that pisses us off, but then we kind of have something to prove, and then we go out and we like smash through obstacles and we accomplish something great. And that's kind of the feeling I get for you here, where you maybe are fed up in a good way, or maybe you're pissed off for greatness in a good way, and you're really committing to your own success. And I really feel like you are like smashing through something with this reading and with this Seven of Wands. And it could be like obstacles or things that have been holding you back, or things that you know that you need to say no to. So overall, I feel pretty good about this. You have the High Priestess. Definitely a time to trust your intuition. I also feel that it's time for you to kind of reach your full potential. I think something people forget about the High Priestess is that she is the card of potential. She has no roof over her head, but she's supposed to be sitting in front of a temple. And really, the card itself says there are no limits to what you can accomplish. The only limit is you. And so the High Priestess really wants us to kind of like charge forward and charge through obstacles and make things happen. And that's what I would be doing with that card. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands like quick success or a quick conclusion. And so you could be finding success very quickly by opening up to all ways of accomplishing things or doing things. The other thing is that you are clearly getting like some sort of answer or guidance with that Judgment card in the Eight of Wands. So this would be like communication from your higher self. Like this could be coming through dreams, signs, symbols, synchronicities, all those other things. And I would be paying attention to those messages. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Two of Swords. Stalemate. Again, you have the Two of Swords twice. So again, I would just be open to other ways of doing things, as we already said with the Two of Swords. The other thing about the Two of Swords is it could say that it's time to explore. You don't have any exploration cards here except for the Chariot, but the Two of Swords, the reason she might be limited is because her worldview is limited. She is only seeing things from where she is. And there's this new opportunity over here where she could learn something new. So sometimes I think the Two of Swords says we just have to experience variety. We just have to go experience new things, literally. We have to go see how other people do things. And if we do that, then we are expanding our worldview. She also has this blindfold on. And so the blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. You might be resisting your intuition a little bit. And if you open to your intuition, I think things will get better. With the High Priestess, you have the Three of Wands. Three of Wands is a card of expansion and growth. So a lot of you could be expanding out into the universe. We are in a time of expansion for sure. I mean, we have Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter will be leaving Gemini, but then Uranus will also be entering into Gemini in the near enough future. And so I just think that, all this energy that will be going through Gemini over the years will be causing people to expand, probably their worldview. Gemini is kind of like a little bit electric. And so, yes, you're an Aquarius, but you're also an air sign. So anything that goes through an air sign is going to affect you more. And, there's like I do get like a little bit of a electric energy here with the Three of Wands. This could be saying that what you need to be doing in your life is focusing on things that make you feel electric, like focusing on things that make you feel alive, or focusing on things that really kind of have a buzz going on about them. You have this Eagle card that says triumph over obstacles, so which is great because we have the Nine of Swords twice in this reading. Luckily, they're coming up kind of in like past positions here, and sorry, it just went flying, but I think that you are triumphing over obstacles. You have this Spirit card. It says heartache over what you no longer have. Biggest challenge for fixed signs right now is this right here. So I think the fixed signs could be, there's a lot that has gone through Taurus, for example, over the past couple years. We still have Uranus and Taurus as well. And so I think for fixed signs, what they have to do is realize that what's coming is better than what was. And Nine of Swords, right? Nine of Swords is like wishing that things could be the way they used to be. But that's just not the world we live in. And, I feel for a lot of you, that's what this is saying. You have this July card and this heart card. It says love, deep affection, and caring. So there could be love coming in for you for sure. I feel like you could be meeting this person like now, like in May or June. But I feel that like in July is probably when it really starts to kind of develop and take off. Whenever I have a bunch of communication cards or even like Judgment, Eight of Wands, to me that says that this could be a connection that starts with communication, and then it's like maybe you officially get going in July. But definitely that looks good. You have this ink pot card. It says problems to be resolved. Yes, I think the problems to be resolved are kind of like little things that you're still holding on to with that Four of Wands, the Four of Wands twice. Four of Wands is a good card, but you have to, again, cross the finish line with the Four of Wands. So there might be some things that you're wrapping up, and if you see those things through to the end, you'll be happy. You have this pig card that says beware of greed. I feel like this should say beware of greedy people. I do feel for some of you that you could be leaving something where it's like a group of people that you're working with or something. I feel like I've been saying this to you for weeks now, Aquarius, but it's like there could be a person who's like secretly greedy, and I would just be careful of that situation, especially if something is not working. I also see something going down as well, if I'm being honest with you here. And so if you're like working with a group, but the results are going down, that's what I would be careful of, and it's definitely popping into my head. But this looks pretty interesting here, Aquarius, so thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.